know that RFK Jr. wants to try and get onto the stage on Thursday, and I'd love to have him, frankly, because I don't think he's much of a debater, and he's got some very liberal, radical left ideas. But I would love to have him, but you have to get certain numbers. That was the criteria, and he's way below those numbers. He's not coming close. So I hope to see him up there someday, but it looks to me like he's not going to qualify on many fronts.
Yes, the man who's most sad about RFK Jr. not qualifying for the first presidential debate, which is happening in under a week. He came close, and let's talk about it, because RFK Jr. and his team are so mad, they are now calling for CNN anchors Dana Bash and Jake Tapper to be thrown into jail, which feels very Trumpian, so someone's trying to get that MAGA vote. Now, of course, there are some rules that CNN laid out, which actually are based on just general federal rules about who can participate in these debates. But they said they must qualify on enough state ballots to be eligible for 270 electoral votes. It's a pretty tall order, but they also must earn 15% of support in 4 national polls that meet CNN's polling standards. The window for candidates to earn the qualifying polls opened March 13th and closes 7 days prior to the debate. And Kennedy got so close. Oh, if you're watching, he got so close. There were 3 polls that he came in over 15%, 17% on the Marquette University Law School poll, 16% on a CNN SSRS poll, 16% on a Quinnipiac University poll. But there was one more and he didn't get it. And also, he did not come close to getting the possibility of 270 electoral votes. CNN last Saturday had confirmed that actually RFK is only on the ballot in 6 states, which is worth 89 electoral votes. Earlier this week, NBC News confirmed Tennessee also put Kennedy on the ballot, but that still gives Kennedy only 100 potential electoral votes. So far short of the 270 he needs to meet the debate requirement. Obviously, RFK Jr. saw this all coming, so he's jumping out ahead of it with just lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. He's filing a complaint with the FEC, the Federal Election Commission. He's arguing that CNN and Biden and Trump violated campaign finance laws, alleging that CNN colluded with Biden and Trump in scheduling the debate and setting debate qualification criteria, which the Kennedy team claims amounts to, quote, prohibited corporate contributions to both campaigns. Yeah, or they're the front runners, dog. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Kennedy argued that Trump and Biden would not be qualified on any state's ballots because their party nominating conventions will occur after the debate. That's actually kind of interesting. We're like, yeah, they haven't officially been nominated. We're all holding out hope that, Biden sort of steps out of the way at the last minute, but no, they're. So anyway, let's go to the juicy stuff, which is he, in a press release, the team said that CNN has persisted in this approach even after the FEC made clear the phrase presumptive nominee is not the FEC's debate regulation and therefore it cannot exempt CNN from the prohibition on excessive campaign contributions. As the Commission on Presidential Debates explains, until the conventions takes place, we don't know who the official nominees will be. That means CNN and every member of CNN who's participating in planning, executing, and holding this debate is at risk of prosecution, as happened to Michael Cohen for violating campaign finance laws. The risk is now acute given that any further violation would be knowing and willful and thus could carry with it serious jail time. In other words, don't you dare hold that debate without me, otherwise you're going to jail in my mind. Cenk?
Yeah, so threatening jail was absurd. So deeply counterproductive for reasons I'm gonna explain in a second. But overall, is Kennedy right? I think he's largely right. And so definitely for the next debate, I don't think that it should be even close, but he arguably has an even better argument in this debate. So they say, hey, you didn't qualify for 270 yet, but technically he's absolutely right. Biden and Trump haven't either, but it's not just technically. If Franny's right, there is some chance that after this debate, Biden steps down and is not the candidate. So, and RFK Jr. might go all the way and likely will go all the way and be a candidate, but Biden might not. So why is RFK not allowed, but Biden is allowed? So that's a hypocrisy right there. And second of all, standard is 4 polls above 15%. That is a maniacal standard. Above 10% is a minor miracle for a third party candidate, right? And you got 3 polls that have you above 15% at 17, 16, and 16. I've seen polls at 18%, but that's not good enough? No, so look, Did they want to keep RFK Jr. out of this debate? Definitely. Definitely. They were going to find a way to keep him out no matter what. So is he right to complain about that? Yes. Is he right to do lawsuits? Yes. And remember, his background is as a lawyer. And he's a really good lawyer. So messing with him on that is a bad idea. But when you jump the shark and you say criminal prosecution, what that's gonna do is it's gonna feed into the narrative they have about you. The guy is kooky, the guy is weird, etc. Don't threaten to arrest CNN anchors. It's not going to play well. So But
the last guy who did it became president. Sorry,
that's
Jack.
true, but with Bobby Kennedy, this often happens where he's, he might be right, but he sets himself up to get lambasted by saying something that goes over the top. Jackson, last thoughts.
I think it definitely reinforces kind of the general unserious image that too many people have of him. I think it's very true that, CNN, nobody else really wanted RFK on the stage so that we could just, get to what everybody's expecting. Because also, I think at the end of the day, people generally know that RFK is not going to be president, which just highlights the general issues with our system, period. As you pointed out, getting to 15% as a third party is pretty unheard of. And then even if you do that, what does that really mean when you have one vote? So that, and then all the corruption, there's so many problems. But this is just one issue that brings that to light.
He might be on it in September.
Yeah, and listen, guys, I don't know if you think I'm crazy, but I don't think it's impossible for him to win. It's impossible normally for a third-party candidate to win because they need $10 to $20 million to get on the ballot. So that's why people like Cornel West struggle so much. And it's impossible to win when you're at 2 to 3%. It is not at all impossible to win when you're at 15%. All you need to do is get on a debate stage. How do I know that? That's exactly what Ross Perot did. And he would have won if he hadn't dropped out the first time. Right. But what's the difference between Ross Perot and RFK Jr.? Ross Perot was a billionaire and the establishment loved him because he was super rich. RFK is also wealthy, but not anywhere like Ross Perot, and he's against the system, not for the system. So all of a sudden, same numbers, but different result. So if they let him into the debates, and given how extraordinarily weak Joe Biden is, somebody's going to take on Donald Trump, but I'm not yet positive that Biden is going to come in second. So we'll see what happens. All right, we got a bonus episode for you guys, and it's got Tucker Carlson versus Sean Hannity, who is going to be more able to influence Donald Trump and pick the vice president. Interesting. Hit the join button below. We'll see you there. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.